Quick clarification about DC's cosmology, because a lot of people assume that DC's dimensions are mathematical levels like 5D or 6D. But the official guidebooks say something very different. In the DC book, reality is described as existing across infinite dimensions, alternate planes, and interlinked realms. So DC cosmology already distinguishes multiple layers of existence, not just numbered spatial dimensions. The same guidebook explains that a dimension can also mean realm or plane of existence. In other words, the word dimension in DC doesn't always refer to geometric axis like in physics. It can simply mean different portions of reality being governed by different laws. For example, the time stream is described as a multiversal-wide phenomenon that keeps realities flowing toward entropy. And the guidebook explicitly says that the time stream is not a literal place. So DC's cosmology already includes structures that exist outside of physical space. One example is limbo, described as a dimension that's outside of the time stream and outside of physical realities. This version of limbo functions as part of the afterlife structure, where souls are assessed before reaching their final destination. Just to clarify something, this is the afterlife limbo that's connected to the God sphere cosmology. It's completely different from the comic book limbo, which was first introduced in Animal Man issue 25, written by Grant Morrison, the monkey puzzle. Then later, it was further explained in the Multiversity, where forgotten characters and story ideas exist. Same names, two completely different realms though. Right above the physical multiverse is the sphere of the gods, explained in the Multiversity guidebook. The absolute multiversity. It's both a guidebook and a comic book. This layer contains mythological worlds like New Genesis, Apocalypse, Olympus, etc. In Grant Morrison's cosmology, these realms are described as platonic archetypal realities. That means they represent the fundamental cosmic ideas underlining the multiverse itself. So they're not just higher spatial coordinates. They're metaphysical layers of existence. And this layer of existence is outside of time and space. The Phantom Zone is also described as a dimension where beings exist in non-physical state outside of conventional space-time. So when the comics show shapes or environments there, that's just visual storytelling. Abstract realms still have to be illustrated for the readers. If seeing shapes meant space existed, then no fictional story could ever depict timeless realms, because comics would just be blank pages if they had to do that. Visual representation doesn't redefine the cosmology. So the key point is that DC actually uses three different meanings of dimension: physical universes, metaphysical plane of existence, and occasionally high spatial dimensions within a universe. Mixing those categories together is where most scaling arguments go wrong. So the idea that DC cosmology is just stacked geometric dimensions like 5D or 6D misses how the cosmology is actually structured. According to the guidebook, the DC book, and the Multiversity, many of these dimensions are conceptual planes of existence tied to cosmic archetypes, not just coordinates in space. And understanding the difference is key to understanding DC's cosmology.